A very good morning and welcome to this morning edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jed Abdin. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
And making headlines this morning, NEC to convene tomorrow, presidential polls date to be discussed. President advises to issue relevant funds allocated for presidential election without delay. Supreme Court to deliver verdict on IGP appointment. In international news, Kamala Harris slams Trump at first rally as he hits back. And in sports, Morgan denies England white ball coach link with Mott under pressure. And in your top story this morning, the Election Commission is scheduled to convene tomorrow. As political attention turns to the announcement of a presidential election, the NEC is set to discuss the matter in detail. Accordingly, a decision on the announcement of the presidential election is scheduled to be discussed at length. Chairman of the NEC, RMA Ratnayaka, says the relevant gazette on the announcement of the presidential election will be issued before the end of this week. And also in more local news, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has informed the Minister of Finance to release the funds allocated for the presidential elections. According to a senior official, the President has informed the Ministry to release the required funds without delay. 10 billion rupees has been allocated from the 2024 budget as funds for the presidential election. Meanwhile, a discussion between officials of the Ministry of Finance and the Election Commission was held recently. The Election Commission said the discussion focused on the expenses related to the presidential election. Additionally, reports on the estimated expense for elections have been called from 45 police divisions. The reports have been directed to the police headquarters. According to a senior official, the final estimate of expenses will be prepared based on these reports. And shifting your attention towards more local news, the verdict on the petition challenging the appointment of Deshabandhu Thinnakon as the Inspector General of Police is set to be delivered by the Supreme Court today. The petition was filed by 8 individuals, including Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit. The bench will announce its decision on the petitions and interim orders. The case was taken up before a Supreme Court bench comprising Justices Yasantha Kodagoda, Achalawinga Puli and Mahinda Samewardana. The petitioners argue that Thinnakon's appointment as recommended by the President contravenes fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. Therefore, the petitioners sought an order nullifying his appointment to the post. The Constitutional Council, including Speaker Deshabandhu Thinnakon, the Attorney General and other relevant parties have been named as respondents in the case. And up next is international news.
International news.
And in news overseas, US Vice President Kamala Harris has gone on the offensive against Donald Trump in the first rally of her White House campaign, portraying November's election as a choice between a former prosecutor and a convicted felon. Speaking to a crowd of about 3,000, Harris likened her Republican opponent to fraudsters she said she had prosecuted. Trump, meanwhile, assailed her record on the border and posted on social media, lying, "Kamala Harris destroys everything she touches." It comes a day after she secured the support of a majority of Democratic delegates, paving the way for her to become the party's nominee. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And finally, in sports, Ian Morgan has categorically denied reports that he could replace Matthew Mott as England's England men's white ball coach rather after their semi-final exit at last month's T20 World Cup. Now Morgan was linked with the job on Tuesday but passed it off as nothing more than speculation while commentating on the 100 for Sky Sports. Mott, who is halfway through a 4-year contract, won a T20 World Cup on 6 months. Only 6 months rather after his appointment, but is under scrutiny after England's underperformance in the last 2 global tournaments. Both Mott and Jos Buttler came under pressure after England won 3 out of 9 games at the 50-over World Cup last year, 2 of which came after their elimination. And with that, we wrap up this morning edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the News First team, I've been Jodabdin. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.